My boss looked me dead in the eyes and said the promotion was going to someone more qualified. Then I watched him walk straight into her office and close the blinds. Her name was Diane. She had been at the company for 4 months. 4 months. I had been there for 3 years, survived 2 rounds of layoffs, rebuilt an entire client portfolio from scratch after our biggest account walked, and trained half the people on our floor. My name was on the short list. My manager had told me it was basically mine. And then Marcus, that was my boss, started acting strange about 6 weeks before the announcement. Late meetings that only Diane attended, her suddenly being CC'd on emails that had nothing to do with her role. Small things. I told myself I was paranoid. I wasn't paranoid. The day of the announcement, Marcus gathered the team in the conference room and said he was thrilled to promote Diane to senior account director, citing her fresh perspective and innovative energy. I sat completely still. My colleague Priya was watching me from across the table. She reached under the table and squeezed my hand so hard I almost cried. Afterward, I went to HR. I laid out everything, my performance reviews, my documented contributions, the timeline of Diane's sudden visibility. The HR rep, a tired-looking man named Gerald, nodded a lot and said he would look into it. That was a Thursday. By Monday, Marcus had pulled me into his office and told me my attitude had become a concern and that he was placing me on a performance improvement plan. A performance improvement plan. After 3 years of exceeding every metric they had. I went home that night and sat in my car in my own driveway for 40 minutes. Then I got angry. Not sad angry, focused angry. I went back inside, opened my laptop, and started documenting everything. Every email, every meeting log I still had access to, every performance review going back to year 1. I also called my colleague James, who had left the company 8 months earlier under circumstances that had always felt off to me. James told me things that made my stomach drop. Marcus had done this before. A different woman, 2 years ago. That situation had been quietly settled. There was paperwork. James still had copies. I contacted an employment attorney the next morning. What followed was 6 weeks of the most stressful silence I've ever endured. I kept showing up. I kept performing. I smiled at Marcus in the hallway and turned in every deliverable on time. And then one Tuesday afternoon, I was called into a meeting with HR, Marcus, and 2 people from legal I had never seen before. Marcus walked out of that building the same day with a box of his things. I was offered a settlement, a formal apology, and 3 weeks later, the promotion. Not Diane's version of it. A restructured role with a new title, a 22% raise, and direct access to the executive team. Diane had already resigned quietly the week before. I think about that moment in the conference room sometimes, when I sat completely still while he said her name. I think about how close I came to just accepting it. So tell me, if this had happened to you, would you have fought back, or would you have walked away?